Today is Tuesday, and coming up Thursday, we have the NBA draft.
Yes.
And it is already getting exciting.
Goody, goo.
You guys are going to be fucking insufferable for the next 2 or 3 days. All these wishes and shoulda, woulda, coulda.
It's going down, baby. I mean, sometimes the draft can be boring. And I guess because the playoffs are so boring, the NBA, the basketball gods are giving us something to chew on. Boston has already traded out from the number 1 spot back to 3 for a million picks. And Philly has the number 1 pick. The Lakers just made a trade to get rid of D'Angelo Russell. Everybody's wondering if Chicago's going to trade, what's his name?
Butler.
Jimmy Butler.
And the world is wondering where Indiana's going to do with Paul George.
They don't have a choice.
The cards have been laid out.
Right. I mean, we pretty much know what's going to happen at 1. We're going to skip number 2 because we'll talk about that later. So what do we think happens at 3? Kenyon?
You know what? I got a sneaky feeling. I said after the lottery when Boston got the number 1 pick, and I'll say it again, Boston is talking to everyone in the league. And, the pundits are all saying that Josh Jackson out of Kansas is the pick. But I got the feeling these picks are all these picks that they have. Remember, they still have Brooklyn's first rounder for next year.
Yeah, Brooklyn's everything.
And then in the trade back, they either have a Lakers pick if we finish between 2nd and 5th, or they have Sacramento's 2019 first round pick plus their own. So they still have a lot of assets. I feel like another trade is actually coming with Boston, and I think this might be the big one. And everyone's focusing on Paul George and Jimmy Butler, but again, I want to stress, Boston is talking to everyone in the league. And we just saw Dwight Howard just got moved
to Charlotte.
He found out on social media.
Really?
Yeah,
he found out while he was tweeting about NBA rumors.
Yeah, he was doing a some sort of question and answer bit for Atlanta, and then had to stop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So just saying, though, like, there are players out there because, you can't not look at what happened in the finals if you're one of the 29 or 30 teams in the league and be okay with mediocrity. You either got to be pushing, building to something great, or you've got to look and say, maybe we need to reload. And there are a lot of quality NBA players out there, and Boston knows where they need their help. They need their help in the interior, and I just wouldn't be surprised if there's another move coming.
Do you think Dwight Howard would have helped them? Because they wouldn't have had to give up the 3rd pick for that.
I think Dwight Howard, some players just have a thing on them, sort
He's
of a
a hoe.
stigma. Hey.
He's not a hoe.
No. What?
He's not a hoe.
Is that what you said, Devin?
He has a heart problem. Meaning he is 7 feet tall with a heart the size of mine.
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. He's a whore then.
He's
The whole thing.
He's the whole thing. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think he fits with their culture. I don't think he's what they're looking for. But yes, a big that allows Al Horford to slide over to his natural spot, I think, yes.
Well, let's just say the draft stays the way it is, and it's Boston keeps 3, Phoenix has 4. So who does Phoenix take? So let's say they take
making moves. They trying to make moves too, though.
Yeah,
And they got a lot of young talent, a lot of young assets. I think
Phoenix is close.
Yeah.
Well, I think
They're looking at the wing players though, because that's what they needed.
But I heard that they're also looking at something that the number 2 pick is looking at. So it depends on how that shakes out or where they go with that. But I think most likely Fox. No, because they wanted to pair somebody with Booker, because Booker plays off the ball.
So they're gonna let Bledsoe go. They're not gonna find a taker for Brandon Knight's deal. So he's just gonna come off the bench. And then they also have Tyler. Help me now. Is it Ulis or Ulis?
Ulis? The kid
Ulis,
from
little man from Kentucky. He's from Kentucky. It's Ulis, folks.
I don't think they pick a guard. I think they looking for something
on the wing, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. They're gonna go wing. I saw the same thing you said.
It's interesting to see Phoenix and Philly both take that youth movement, knowing that, of course, you want to get young talent, but at the same time, like we saw in the finals, any good team that can compete has a mix of both young talent and veteran leadership. So I think for Phoenix, they ultimately just sit back and wait to see who the Lakers don't take and who Boston doesn't take. And it's talent out there. But back to Kenyon's point though about Boston, I think it's interesting for them because they have many guys available in the draft that kind of do the same thing. Like you look at Josh Jackson's out there. They mentioned looking at Jason Tatum, who somebody called Paul Pierce 2.0, but he has the ability. He has the ability to get his own shot. He's young. He's only 19, but his mind is old.
His mind is old. I see what you did there, Kev.
A lot of these teams are moving towards positionless basketball. They want multiple players at the same position.
Yeah, they got but they have multiple players though in Boston. What they need is an interior presence, and I think what the trade backs showed you was that they're comfortable with their backcourt, which I think everybody was like, oh, I mean, we even kind of talked about it, like maybe this is the beginning of the end for Isaiah Thomas, but Danny looked at it, which it makes a lot of sense. It's like these guys are proven. And so I'm comfortable with paying the little man $200 million. If
we had a rim protector, it wouldn't matter if
exactly.
he can't play defense.
Exactly.
He's a hoarder.
Exactly.
Well, we know that's
He is
not
definitely a hoarder.
He's a hoarder.
He's definitely a hoarder.
Yeah, hey, I mean, two questions. So, will the NBA do something about the amount of picks that the team is able to stockpile and do people? I mean, he's not on Red Auerbach's level, but he's doing some Red Auerbach
He's doing
shit.
some Red. He's doing some Auerbach shit.
Anything but fucking people. Like it's not. It's
Red
not the
Auerbach.
league. It's not the league's fault that Brooklyn was incompetent.
Oh my God.
But I'm sure those fans. I mean, I could fuck the fans, fuck the Celtics.
Right.
But I'm sure that.
Let's just throw that out.
Yeah, let's just say that. I'm sure they've got to be a little bit frustrated though.
But with all of that said, and we talk about Boston and free agency, we haven't even mentioned Gordon Hayward. I mean, Ken, do you still think he's a viable option?
Yeah, I believe the Gordon Hayward thing. They still need an interior guy, and the thing that's what's crazy about their thing is that Gordon, like they have cap space, so they can pay for Gordon and still got moves to make.
Yeah, and they could pay for Gordon and trade half their picks and still have more picks than everybody else in the league
times
to
two.
get somebody on the
All
interior.
stars making $7 million a year.
Right.
Don't sleep on the Portland Trailblazers. They've got 3 picks in this draft. Right now, the Lakers also have 3 picks in the draft.
Did you know the Trailblazers had a second highest payroll?
I'm getting
Of course. Of course they do. Alan Crabb and Evan Turner.
Trash. My second question, though, like looking at the draft, obviously the big names have been mentioned at the top, but like looking at the talent, like 6 through 14 is like roll the dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
I don't know.
like, do y'all see anybody flourishing out of that? I mean, they're talking a lot about the dude from, Kennard, but they got
Luke Kennard, he's a great shooter. I think
he's a more athletic JJ Redick.
Yeah.
Like, the kid can shoot though.
It's a deep talent, even going deeper than that, Dev. You're right. 6 through 4. If you're 6 through 14, you need to pick for need, right? And there's, obviously the point guards are going to go a little bit early, but you still have Dennis Smith, who at the beginning of the college season, Dennis Smith was looked at as a potential number 1 pick.
Yeah.
So he'll be down there. They got the French point guard, Frank. I'm not even going to pronounce his last name because it starts with an N and a T. Yeah, Frank N. They got Frank N. So I think you pick for need. But then even getting to the bottom of the draft, you got guys like Jordan Bell. You got Bam Adebayo. You got Josh Hart, the guard out of Villanova. You've got some really good players. Frank Mason, Gonzaga, Nigel Williams-Goss. Yes.
Both of them in second round.
Right.
Yes.
And then nobody's even mentioning, Monk, who's a little further up.
Yeah, Malik is right on that.
A little bit,
he's on that 5-6 range.
It's supposedly a deep draft.
It's
and
a
you
deep
should be able
draft.
to get some talent late.
Yeah.
Right.
All we can say is supposedly.
Yeah.
Because who knows? Well, we got
find out Thursday.
Yeah, but we got time to talk about that fight this weekend.
Which one?
Both of them. But here's what I'm gonna say: the referee should never be a part of the story.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
Never. Regardless of the sport, the referee should never be part of the story. And both fights, the referee was part of the story. The undercard with Guillermo
Rigondeaux.
No, it's Rigondeaux.
Rigondeaux.
There you go.
Flores fight. What happened?
So, people have been talking shit about him because he's not exciting. So he wanted to bring a little bit more excitement to the fight. So it's in the first round. Dre and Sergey just get into the arena.
Right.
It's supposed to go 12 rounds. And then 10-second bell goes, and they're on the ropes, and Rigondeaux is getting his Lennox Lewis on, holding behind the head. He throws a couple punches, and I believe the ref's name was Vic Draculich, whatever his name is.
I call him John Kerry.
Right, he goes to step in, and the bell is about to ring, and simultaneously, he misses. He pulls the arm down. They throw at the same time. Someone goes night-night, and he gets knocked the fuck out.
The story is that even after the bell, and they go, which was weird, they go look at it,
I've never seen
and
anybody.
they still got it wrong.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but it's been overturned.
Oh, has it?
Yeah,
No decision.
it's been overturned to no decision.
How
Which
do you
is
go?
what I thought
How do you
would
go? How do you go out the ring, look at the monitor, and say, "I can't hear where the bell"? It was before the bell. It was before the bell.
Then he tried to blame it on
Yeah.
HBO too.
Oh, with the commission?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
it
was
was
crazy.
Well, and then they named it a knockout, but then they overturned it the other day. But then we got the bigger story,
Low blow.
dick shot.
Multiple.
And it's really sad because to me, this was the defining fight for Andre Ward to come back after a hotly contested first fight, and then to come back in a rematch, and you saw the momentum shift.
Yeah,
It was one of those things where Kovalev might have been up on the scorecards, or it was competitive on the scorecards, but you felt like Ward was winning the fight
was the
because
same
you
thing
knew
that
that he
happened.
was. You knew he was coming. He was
But
working on
it felt
something.
different though. The way we were talking, like, oh, here comes, they're gonna have a third one because it's not looking good for Ward. Like he was behind
the
stick.
momentum shifted real fast though.
Yeah, like round 6.
It started going to the body, and honestly, I was in a certain mental state when we
you
were
were?
watching the fight. When I rewatched,
I'm
when
gonna sip some of this.
when I rewatched the fight, though, you could see Ward was. Hey, let's keep going, guys. Let's keep going. Ward was building towards something with the body work, with pressing the attack. That's why he started with the hellos at the opening,
beginning
at
of
the
the-
beginning of the round. He would give him with the hello right hook, with the left hook, and so it just is unfortunate because Tony Weeks, he missed it.
He missed it, and
He missed it.
we can agree to disagree on whether, like we did that night, if they were low. Say they were all good, valid punches.
Fight shouldn't have been stopped.
Right.
Standing A count.
Yeah.
Standing A count
Should have
at
been a
least.
standing A count.
Yeah.
That's
And
a warrior in there, and he deserved to get a chance to keep fighting.
Yeah, and I actually read somewhere that two judges had Ward ahead 67-66 at time of the stoppage. Third judge had Kovalev up 68-65. So you let that fight play out. Either way, man.
How long until part 3?
Oh, they don't fight again.
They won't
They
fight
don't
again.
Nah.
They don't
I can't
fight
see Kovalev letting that slide.
He don't have a choice.
Ward will.
And his trainer said, well, we'll see if he's still around because
Right.
he had a very interesting conversation after the fight. But he says he needs to take a couple tune-up fights so he can get back into winning form before he takes another fight.
Yeah.